Hello, my name is Bralin from 5161 Egomaniacs, and in this video, I'll be talking about how to create a TensorFlow light object model implementable for the FTC SDK that is an alternative from the FTC machine learning toolchain. If you haven't already used the FTC learning toolchain, you should, as it is the FTC first provided resource that all teams have access to. It's free of charge, and it's easy to use, all based on the internet, and it uses paid resources for basically free. So what would take a month to train is about an hour on using the FTC machine learning toolchain. If you haven't already, go and use that because this is a more powerful and advanced method to train a model. With that said, there are some caveats to using the toolchain as it limits your training, and it's also you have to also use a mentor to upload videos as data. An alternative method that can be used outside of FTC and implementable in anything that uses FTC or TensorFlow Lite API is this this method in which I use. It uses video as data, much like the machine learning toolchain, and you can create datasets similar to the dataset creator in FTC machine learning toolchain. And you can train your data through an online resource, the Google Colab notebook. It usually takes about an hour, with an exception if there are no available GPUs, in as you'll see later on. Requirements for this method is a Windows OS. I've only tested this method on Windows OS devices using OSs like Linux or Mac may be applicable, but errors may arise. For the semi-autonomous dataset builder, need admin privileges. Actually, and a Google account is required to upload data and use the Google Colab. On that note, I would like to acknowledge Liz Looney, as they built the dataset Python scripts that I have based this method on. Only, only, only thing I changed about it is the way data is built through the scripts. And a side note from that is they are also the person that powers the FTC machine learning tool chain today. So all credits to them. Let's begin this method. To start off, all the links that I'll be talking about will be provided in a paste bin somewhere in the description. So you get lost, or if I provide resources, they'll be in the description. So the first thing we want to do is download Anaconda. Now what this will do is it creates virtual environments of Python. Download the Visual Edition. Creates is downloading virtual environments of Python. So we're going to create a virtual environment. Activating it. Through there, we'll install packages that we'll need to run scripts, that which we should also install, which is provided in a link I'll provide. Oops. Dataset builder. Download this also. And set down. I guess we're gonna do this. Extract it. Back. Set builder main. Oh. So once we get Anaconda running, we can run these scripts with the data that you may have. In my case, I have 3 videos in which scanning frames through and labeling. So here we go. Does it mail? I'm going to insert these videos in the same path as scripts. And once Anaconda's up and running, we'll install that. As far as downloading, these should be the only 2 resources you need. And from then on, we'll be uploading. If you get lost, you can read the setup. A bit bare bones, but it works. Or it should work, hopefully. Now once this is installed, we're going to follow a specific installation guide because we need this to install on the path. See, install register at I add this to my path. I'm going to register Anaconda as my default Python because I do not have Python installed. If you do, I would uncheck this. Actually, you should keep this and check this instead, as this goes in the path, as Anaconda 3 will be in the path. And then we can use the conda command in a terminal of your choice, which I'll be using CMD. Once you have conda installed, you can click next, and you should finish. I want them to their site. And once it's properly installed with the file path enabled through the installer, go into a command prompt or PowerShell if you prefer that. Type in conda. You should get this with no error. If you don't, you may need to install a later version or later version of conda. That said, we can start with our first line of first to build our environment. So in the README on the GitHub, you can see that I provided instructions. I'm just going to copy and paste these instructions as we go. This is the first line. I'm going to create an environment called data create that uses Python 3.8. Once you get this to this page, you want to click or you want to type in Y to accept all these packages. Wait for them to all download. So once the virtual environment is created, we get a screen that looks like this, and then we can activate it. Kind of activate data create, and that should give us a little notation on the left that we are in our virtual environment with our name on it, data create. Once we're in here, we download some packages that we'll be using for the scripts. First one is OpenCV. This shouldn't take too long. The package we're going to install is Pascal Writer. Now that OpenCV is done, we can download the Pascal Writer. Just copy this. Control. Press enter.